Thanks so much for joining this morning. Thank you. For those of you who've joined in for the meditation, good morning. Good morning. Meditation is going to start at 10:02, so we'll give it one more minute and we'll start things up. Okay. Thanks for joining this morning. Thank you. Alrighty, 10:02. We're going to start the meditation, and I don't know if there's anything I want to share. I have some own inner things going on that I hope are helpful for the meditation. So, in any case, thank you for joining. Good morning, and let's meditate. Actually, let me turn my heater off here. Take a little bit to wind down here, but I like the stillness and the quietness when I'm meditating. So if you haven't already, just getting yourself nice and comfortable and just taking a nice deep breath and just letting go of any stress, any worries, and definitely letting go of all the past. Letting go of all the past. And letting go of any worries about the future. The more we let go of our worries about the future and just trust that everything is exactly the way it needs to be, there's really a freedom that presents itself to just flow with life. And we begin to flow with life in a way that we begin to have gratitude and appreciation for the mystery of life, not knowing what's going to unfold and not needing to know what's going to unfold. So I'm feeling lately like I really just want to slow these meditations down some. Sometimes I feel that in the past, maybe coming through my own ego filters, that it was more important to share something than it was to flow with the silence in the meditation. And I don't want to carry any agenda of how this is supposed to look. But it's just an awareness that I had of perhaps just slowing it down and also feeling inspired more to lead you into your heart and making sure that I'm coming from my heart. That's what came up for me the last couple days. And so again, I don't want to have my agenda, my intentions coming in, but I'm just wanting to open up deeper to God within myself, as you, as me, as the oneness that we all are. And know that that's enough for any meditation, however it goes. So right now, I just invite you just to open up your heart Open up your minds and let's just let this flow in whatever direction it needs to flow. Just like a fire, crackling fire, the ebbs, ups and downs, and the perfection of all of it. And I don't know if you've ever, when you've sat around the fire, but for me, it truly is like this meditative state, because the fire is just flowing. It doesn't have an agenda. It just is flowing with life. And it's this beautiful dance, artistic dance, this artful dance that it's doing. And just to witness it, just to be as the witness. And I so often stress this, that we don't need to change or fight or fix the fire. We don't need to fix or change our breath or have an intention with it, an agenda. We're just witnessing all of it. And that, again, is of course true with our thoughts as well. And it really is just this flow. And I'm also noticing that more and more lately. That how much I still use my mind to determine what I'm going to do for the day and where I'm going to go and how I can be efficient and organized. And no, there's nothing wrong with that. But what's also true is it's not necessarily part of the divine flow of life, this intuitive flowing with life. And it doesn't mean that we can't be organized or efficient with this divine flowing, but where are we accessing what we're going to do next? From our head or from our hearts? And so for me, kind of switching up this meditation to make sure that I'm rooted in my heart in the direction this meditation flows. And I feel good about a lot of the intuitive flowing that I'm using. But there was also something that was a little bit unconscious of where it was coming from. Again, maybe an agenda or an intention on my part. It's all good. It's all a teaching for myself, for you, for all of us. But as I listen and watch Muji and Eckhart Tolle and other teachers, I just see their words arising more from a stillness, from their heart. So with that said, I give this entire meditation over to God and to the truth of who I am and to the truth of who you are, that we may flow and be in perfect alignment. And as the Bible says, as my teacher has said, to just be in perfect flow and alignment with God in every thought, every word, and every deed. What is life really? What is life? Is life just a bunch of judgments and beliefs when we're following our head and not our heart? Where we're trying to control and manipulate life so that our mind can create life the way it thinks it should be? Is life just a series of experiences? There's nothing wrong with experiences. But who are you? Are you the experiences too? Or are you the one simply witnessing the experiences? Life is a dance like the fire. It crackles, it pops in this beautiful artistic dance. And you see the flames go up and down and shoot to the side. And it's this beautiful, beautiful unfolding perfection if we are not getting our heads in the way of what life is supposed to look like. If we're not getting in the way of the dance of life and this fire. Truly, all of us have had experiences of deep love in our lives. Maybe with a partner, maybe with a child, maybe for ourselves, maybe for Jesus or God or Buddha or Krishna, maybe with nature, where all there was in our heart was pure love. And the only way to experience pure love is if we are not involving the mind in the process. Because if we involve the mind, we are inviting in fear and judgment and blame and guilt and shame. What is that energy? What is that vibration that goes beyond all of those things? What is that energy, that presence that goes beyond any mental, physical, or emotional experience? There was a time when I was dreaming, and even to this day, it happened many years ago, but I feel emotional from it. I was riding on a motorcycle with my dad, and when I was riding on it with him, my dad has passed back in '92. When I was riding on the motorcycle with him and holding him in my arms because I was on the back seat, there was this beautiful, beautiful experience of only love. Just pure love. There was nothing to evaluate. There was nothing to guess about why it was happening or would it last or any of that, which is all of the mind. There was just only love. And that love is the truth of who we are. And just consider when you aren't aligning with your head, with your mind, and all the blame, the judgment, the guilt, the shame, the fears, the self-righteousness, all these things that are of the head that block us from being of the heart. Just pure love, the love of God, the bliss of God. And I shared this recently, something that is just becoming more and more clear to me. And of course, I'm sure all of you have heard me say before, stress is wanting life to be different than what it is. One of my favorite Eckhart Tolle quotes. So stress is wanting life to be different than what it is. So when we stop wanting life to be different, what are we doing? How are we doing that? It's connecting with this presence, this truth of who you are, that is simply the witness to all of it. As the witness of life, there's no need to fix or change anything. Let's take a deeper look at that. So there's no need to fix or change anything, meaning that if you just simply witness the thoughts without fighting them, needing to fix or change them or get rid of them in any way, if you just observe them, and you do the same thing with your feelings, any feelings that come up. And again, I want to say, when you have a thought and you identify with that thought in some way, that in other words, you're believing that thought, there will be a feeling that comes along with that thought. That feeling will be based on all mental stuff. Mental in the aspect that if you believe it's a good thought, it will be a good feeling. If you believe it's a bad thought, it will be a so-called bad feeling. So, but it's all of the mind, all of the head, all of the ego. So again, how do we be at peace with all of that? By recognizing that we are not the thoughts, we are not the beliefs, and we are not the feelings. By recognizing that we are not the mind, nor are we any of these thoughts that we've accumulated as to the truth of who we think we are. But it also goes to the truth that we are not any physical form either. And so one of the reasons we practice emptying out who we are not is because if I say to you that you are not your thoughts, you are not your beliefs, you are not your feelings, if you believe me, then I'm just adding another belief to your baggage of beliefs. And I am not interested in that. And that's why I always say, don't believe anything I say. Let's just try it on and see how it feels. See how it fits. So right now, I invite you to let go of your need to listen to the mind. Let go of your following the mind as your God, as your master. And just empty out all these thoughts, these beliefs and feelings that you've accumulated, all these experiences, all the memories even all the memories. And if your mind says, well, if I empty out all the memories, I won't have anything left. What you will have left is that truth of who you are that goes beyond all memories and goes beyond the physical mind, beyond the physical body. Because if you are an eternal being, and I'm not asking you to believe that either, but the only way you can find out if you're an eternal being is to let go of all these things of who you are not and find out the one thing that remains. The one thing that is beyond all your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings, beyond your body, beyond your mind, because your mind and body are of course finite, right? All your thoughts come and go. Do you come and go? If you're the thoughts, do you come and go? Are you at the whims of the mind that is all over the place, that is never stable? And Jesus speaks of, no, actually I believe it's the Apostle Paul speaks of, the peace that passeth all understanding. The mind cannot comprehend who you are because you are beyond the mind. You are beyond the logic. You are beyond anything physical. The mind cannot wrap its arms around that truth. But you have the opportunity to do that right now in this moment. And that's by just exploring the infinite possibilities that are here right now in this moment. And so to explore, I'm inviting you to let go of all your past thoughts, beliefs, feelings, experiences, memories, just letting go of all of it. Even just for 1 minute. Even just emptying yourself out so purely, so clearly, just for 1 minute to get a glimpse of that truth of who you are. That is beyond any form, beyond any idea, belief, or concept. So I also invite you, as I quite often do, just to let go of any and all stories of who you have, what you have accumulated to have a self-image, a personality, a concept, an idea of who you think you are. But this, of course, is not about thinking. It's far beyond that. It's about connecting with that formless, non-physical truth of who you are. It's about connecting with this divine intelligence, this silent intelligence that is aligned with God itself, where all memories of the past are stored. So you are not giving up memories. You are not giving up your intelligence. You are giving up your mental memories. You are giving up your mental intellect. I'm inviting you right now to transcend the mind, to go beyond it, to explore this infinite self, where all things are possible. The mind, the ego, is so afraid of becoming a nobody. And the truth of who you are doesn't need to be anybody whatsoever. There's no bodies. No body. There's no thing, nothing. You are the pure, formless emptiness. And how we get to this is emptying out that which you are not. Are you ready for freedom? Freedom from the mind and all the craziness of the mind that has created all the suffering of the world, suffering of the reality that you are in. And people talk about hell. In the biblical days, there was a town called Gehenna. And people took their baggage there, their garbage there. And that's where they burned all their garbage. And so the interpretation of Gehenna is hell. I hope you go to hell. I hope you go to Gehenna. Meaning that you can burn along with the rest of the garbage that is there. And unfortunately, like many things, truth is not understood because we're coming from the head and not from the heart. And people do their best to interpret. And it's all perfect. It's all just a play of life. There's no judgment that I have about it because for whatever reason, life and God have brought this to us to experience this in some way. It literally took me years to empty out this belief that if I stray from what the Bible told me, or what, not so much, I love the Bible in many things. There are a lot of things that you have to be careful with. There's trips and traps all along the way, and you can even see that by just taking 10 different religions that all practice the Bible, that are all Christians, and they will each have different interpretations of what the truth is. True? I'm not interested in debating the Bible and the truth that it resides, but I am interested in how we have been pulled into certain dramas from the mind, from the ego, out of fear. And I don't know about you, but I was raised up Baptist, and there certainly was a fear that if I strayed from what the so-called path was, I would go to hell. But it was just going to Gehenna, going to the city where the garbage was burned. So when we talk about salvation, freedom, we are talking about salvation and freedom from the mind, the peace that passeth all understanding. Be still and know that I am God. It's that verse in the Bible that speaks to the truth of who you are, that is beyond all the thoughts, beyond all the busyness of the mind, beyond all the feelings, beliefs, and experiences of the mind. If you don't want to go to hell, then simply transcend the mind. The kingdom of God is at hand. There's so many beautiful references to the Bible, but unless they are understood at a deeper level, they can all be trouble, and are for many, many people that walk this earth. And I'm not judging that either. There's no judgment about it. It's simply their experience, just like you're experiencing things. We don't need to judge anybody. Judgment is all of the mind. The mind wants to judge everybody, including yourself. Because you need to match up and align with, I know the truth. I know the truth. I am somebody. I am famous. I am rich. I am powerful. I am your God. And if you listen to me, I will show you the way. If anyone wants to describe the devil, I think it would be easily described as what the mind walks us through. And in fact, I'm fairly confident that that's what a lot of people mix up. Whether you call it the mind or Satan, darkness. And to me, listening to the mind is dark. If I believe some of the things that the mind shares, and if I fall into the trap of its fears of the darkness, I can create any reality that I want. What reality do you want to create? And who are you to create it? There's a lot of different paths out there, many different paths. For me, I am giving up really creating anything. Am I a creator? Our thoughts, if we believe them, certainly reality will reflect those thoughts and those beliefs. But the more I find myself flowing with life and flowing with God, it feels enough. It is enough. Life and God are always providing me exactly what I need when I need it, and that is no different than any of you. Again, you don't have to believe me on this. I'm just inviting you to let go of your need to follow anything about the mind. Yes, the mind has a function, but it is not to solve the problems of life. It is not to provide you with all the solutions. And what solutions would be helpful if it doesn't know what true joy, peace, and love is, if it doesn't know what God is. And the mind can never know God because it is always in judgment. Maybe good judgment, maybe bad judgment, but it's still caught in judgment and does not know how to escape the physical form, because it does not understand the unphysical, the non-physical, the formless you. So yes, you can listen to the mind, but just know this: the mind will never know true joy, peace, or love, and it will never ever know God. So are you ready to give up looking to the mind? I invite you just to let that go, the belief go that you need to follow the mind, that you need to listen to it, that the mind will solve all your problems. It will show you the way home to happiness. And I hope, based on this meditation, that you can see that it is fruitless to follow the mind. And I am simply providing you a way out. And that is by letting go of these old beliefs that stand in the way of your freedom. And one of those non-truths, false beliefs, is the mind will take me out of my misery by guiding me in what freedom is, salvation is, enlightenment is, awakening is. And the mind will always have you believing that you will always have something to fix, change, heal within. You will never be whole in the mind's eyes. There will always be something to do. So it keeps you in waiting. It keeps you in the future. When these things happen, then I'll be happy. Only to find out when you heal those things, there's another 10 waiting for you. So just bringing your awareness back to your breath. Just being a witness to the breath. And you, the big you, are simply the one that is witnessing all of it. Witnessing the breath, witnessing the thoughts, witnessing your experiences. And if you are not looking to fix or change any of it, you can be the witness and be completely at peace. And so we're coming full circle. We talked earlier about being at peace, and stress is wanting life to be different than what it is. Peace is allowing life to be exactly as it is. And so how do we do that? By simply being the witness to life, without any need to fix or change any of it. If there is a need to fix or change anything of life, you are now in your head and listening to the mind once again. And it's okay if the mind is saying this, and it's okay to listen to the mind as long as you're not believing that it's the truth. And as soon as you start believing the mind, then that's when you enter back into hell, where suffering and stress reside. You know, I say this very sincerely. Life honestly can be so, I just have to use the word frickin' easy. Life can truly be so frickin' easy if we're being conscious and aware of what's going on in life, but not being drawn into the outer world. Jesus says, be in the world, but not of it. That's all he was referring to. Yes, watch it, witness it, observe it, but don't be pulled into the drama of life, the drama of your mind, and all the beliefs that you have accumulated all over all the years. And I want to invite you one more time, if there is anything of the past that you are carrying in this moment, if there is any worries of the future that you are carrying into this moment, if there is just letting go of all the beliefs, all the feelings, all the memories, just even letting go of all the physical. And you don't have to worry that your body is all of a sudden going to die because you let go of the physical. No, the physical happens as a natural reaction to what you need most. You're having this physical experience because there's things for you to learn. There's things that you have identified with as the truth of who you are, and life is providing you those lessons through this body and through other physical forms that are perfectly reflecting back and highlighting those things that you have bought into as the truth. But are simply presenting themselves for you to become aware where you have bought into the false truth, and life is inviting you to let go of that. God is inviting you by highlighting these things that are stressful. Those are the things that you are being asked to let go of because you're believing them, falsely believing them in some form or shape, in some way. How can one describe how beautiful you are? And have you know that? Have you fully realized that as the truth? When you are connecting and being your true self, it goes beyond any description, beyond any words. So we empty out all that we are not, so that the one thing can remain, and that is the core essence of who you are. And so I invite you just to be conscious and aware of your breath. Just to be the witness of the breath. And when the thoughts come in, if they do, just be the witness of the thoughts. It doesn't matter what thought, and it doesn't matter how many thoughts. When you are simply witnessing them, there is peace, and you are home. You are conscious awareness, the one who is simply observing the thoughts. And the thought might say, I hate that son of a bitch. I am so angry at him. Is that you? Because if it is you, then who is the one that is able to simply notice that thought? And notice that feeling, notice that belief. Peace is ever pervading as the truth of who you are. And of course you're going to hear my puppy in the background making herself known. And you may have bad thoughts, you may have good thoughts about her barking. just whatever the thoughts are, just simply notice them and allow them to gently and effortlessly pass on by and come back to being aware of your breath. And the dogs barking, the people yelling, the political upheaval, all your thoughts and beliefs about climate change, all your thoughts and beliefs about anything are simply witnessed by your true self. That's it. It's literally that simple. And it doesn't feel simple because we've been trapped by so many beliefs of the mind that have locked us into false beliefs. But when you begin to transcend the mind and all the beliefs and thoughts and all things we've discussed, all there's left to do is simply be a witness to all of it. And you see that there is literally no such thing as a bad thought. It's only a thought. And if we don't fight it or make it bad or wrong, we're at peace. That's you. That's you. And you might have a part of you that is noticing the thought but doesn't like the thought. So there is a part of you that is aware of the thought but says, I don't like this thought, I don't like this feeling, I don't like this experience. I invite you to take one step back from that as the witness and notice that thought. Because you, of course, are not the thought, but the part of you may be caught in the thought in some way. Caught in the thought, I like that. But there's another part of you that is able to witness the one who is aware of the thought but needs the thought to change. So you have the thought. There's the one who's aware of the thought but doesn't like the thought and might like the thought. That's still part of ego. And there's also the one who is a witness to the one who is aware of the thought. So you are the one who is aware of that which is aware. And you are the one that doesn't need one single thing to be any different than what it is. You're just witnessing all of it without any need to fix or change anything about you or anyone else or about life itself. It doesn't mean you can't take action and do good in the world, but your goodness will come from a place of truth, from a place that is rooted in peace and joy and love and not rooted in fear, which quite oftentimes when we take action from that place, we can do more damage than we do good. Just witness all of it. And just practice being a witness to the breath right now. And if your mind has drifted, just simply allow the thought to just gently and effortlessly pass on by and come back to the present moment. Come back to the truth of who you are, the one who is simply being aware of your breath. And by the way, it doesn't take any physical form, it doesn't take any physical mind. In fact, those will get in the way of just simply being conscious and aware from the truth of who you are. Consciousness requires no physical form or shape whatsoever. It's just witnessing something, that's all. Just a pure, formless witness of the breath. And if your mind has drifted, just simply come back to being aware of your breath. And to practice this during your day as well. When your mind drifts, when you feel stress, just bring yourself back to the present moment. And the more you practice that, there will be a day that you are just locked into the present moment, and you see that it is a waste of time to listen to all the thoughts and beliefs of the mind, and you will reside in peace. just returning to the present moment, returning home to who you are, the witness. we're going to begin to complete the meditation. If you'd like to meditate more, please mute or turn your device off. And thank you for joining me. I really enjoyed this meditation. I felt like it really had some good juice to it. So I hope you did too. And thank you so much for joining me. And for those of you who are ready to finish, just taking in a nice deep breath. And just really re-energizing your physical body that does such a wonderful job of getting us around in this life. And maybe moving it, stretching it some. And taking your time, and whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. And I'm going to take a peek over in Facebook, getting us around in this life. Oops, let's see here. And there we go. Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Good morning. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here. And I don't know if anybody else is out there or wants to share, but nice to have you join for the meditation this morning. And let me also go over to YouTube and see who might be over there. Let me also go over to YouTube. Oops. And I don't know if that's you, Sandy, or anyone else, but if you'd like to share, you're welcome to, and if not, I completely understand. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining, you guys. I appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful day. And let's see. And Sandy, you came on. Busy thoughts recently, I realize, is my ego trying to return. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. I understand. We all have that experience, and that's okay. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up for it. Sometimes when we're having a busy mind and then we find ourselves fighting against it, then we have this experience where we're not happy because we're fighting against the thought, and then we create more drama and stress. So sometimes what I do with that, if the thoughts aren't releasing themselves and I'm getting caught in the kind of the quagmire of the thoughts, and I'm noticing I'm not liking them, I'm feeling stress, I'm buying into them, but I'm wanting to get rid of them. Sometimes the best thing I can do is just like, okay, it's okay. This is my experience right now. For whatever reason, there's a part of me that's not ready to let it go. So let me just embrace it and be with it. And then when you embrace it and be with the grumpiness, the frustrations, and you don't fight any of it, you find that it begins to dissipate that way as well. Because you can still, if you're not at peace, you can still be at peace with not being at peace. Do you see what I'm saying? Because the part that's not at peace is still part of the ego. So if we can just notice that we're not at peace and just surrender into that and just be with that, it's okay. We can still find peace with that. So I hope that's helpful. And you said, because I am focusing more on emptying. Yeah. And sometimes the more you empty out, then you become more conscious and aware. And the more you become conscious and aware, in a way, it brings up more stuff because we're clearing out everything that gets in the way of who we are. And so it has to present itself at some point in time. So yes, I understand. Okay, cool. All right, Sandy, thanks so much for joining. I'm going to just pop over Facebook real quick too, just to see. Oh, Michelle, okay. Enjoy your witness of life. Yes, right. And thank you for that. And so, and thanks for joining, Michelle. I guess it was you here the whole time. Nancy was here earlier. I saw there was 3 people on Facebook at one time. So, okay, you guys, have a beautiful weekend, and maybe I'll see you on Monday morning. Okay, namaste.